Let's have a look at how we can change the appearance of our Toposolid. Number one is what the appearance of the surface looks like. Number two is how to change a small portion or a specific portion of our Toposolid to look different, for example, a different color. And then we're going to look at how we can basically I won't say cut holes in our Toposolid, but we could take an overall Toposolid and break it into, or take a small piece of it and make it its own Toposolid, which we can then change what the elevations are of the different parts of it. Number one, let's look at the assembly. When you select your Toposolid, you can see it's a generic sort of name. If I go to Edit Type, then under Assembly, you can see that it is just made, a generic structure. Now, if I want to add say, grass on the surface, first of all, I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to say this is a Toposolid grass. And now I'm going to select Edit, and I'm going to insert a top material. I'm going to identify this as a finish, and by category I'm going to pick grass. So what I had already practiced this, so grass came right up, but you'll see we also have asphalt, we have earth, we have sand, we have soil, all these different materials that we could use. So I'll pick grass and click OK. And then you have to give it some sort of a thickness. I'll say it's 50 millimeters. I'll click OK. Click OK. And now when we change our visual style to say shaded, now it looks green. So I'm going to set this back to hidden line. The second thing we can look at is going to be paint. I'm going to select my Toposolid, and up in our ribbon we have, in the Modified Toposolid panel, we have Subdivide. I can begin now sketching the area in which I want to make it appear different. I can click OK or check mark, and now if I hit escape there, you can see we have a different defined area. So this is not a separate Toposolid, it's simply a defined space that will have a different appearance. This rectangular shape actually will follow the slope of the Toposolid. Now what I want to do is I'm going to make it a different material. So I could, it's been selected, I could pick by category, and now I could pick some other material. Let's say I select soil, and I click OK. And now I just click off to the side. When I change my visual style to consistent colors, you can now see that that is brown. If I change this to realistic, you can see that it does have a pattern to it, but it's very, very, very fine. But the grass also has a pattern. You can see that the finishes, when you apply, or the materials when you apply that utilize an image file for a realistic rendering, they're made up of a single image file. But so depending on how far away you are from it, it's going to have sort of a tiled effect. So I'm going to zoom out. The nice thing about these painted surfaces is that you don't want them anymore. You could edit the sketch if you wish, or if you don't want it anymore, you could just select delete, and it's like it was never there. So I'm going to change the visual style back to hidden line. Number 3, I want to take a portion of this Toposolid and basically, I won't say cut it out, but convert it into its own littler or smaller Toposolid so that I can manipulate the elevations of just that portion of the Toposolid. To perform this task, I want to use the split element command. Now, the split element command is found under the modify ribbon, under the modify panel, and it is this right here. So with this command, I can identify what it is I want to split, and then I could sketch out the shape and location of what I am going to split. And now I can select the check mark to finish. Now this doesn't look all that different than the paint command. However, if I were to select this and delete it, I've created a hole basically in my Toposolid. So let's have a look at this in 3D. Now I just realized I made an error. I should have not deleted that piece. What I should have done is I should have hidden it in view. I may need it later. So let me go back. I'm going to go back to here. I cannot delete this piece that I've deleted already. I can't make it whole again. But let me go to split tool again. And I'm going to now create another rectangle. Say right here. Click OK. So I'm going to go to the 3D view. Actually, what I think I might do is just tile my views. So, and then over here, I'm going to sort of zoom in here. Now, watch what happens when I select this new Toposolid. Go modify sub-elements. You can see it created a lot of points, right? A lot of points there. And the points are there because we created a new Toposolid that's along a slope. So watch what happens when I start to delete some of these extra points. I'm only going to delete, I'm going to keep the 4 corners right there. And I'm going to delete this one here. So you can see that there's still a contour, and that would be, oh, I see another one there. Because each of these 4 corners has its own unique elevation. So I'm going to try to make these. Let me go to a higher one here, see what the number is for reference. Okay, so let's say I do 48,000. 48,000. 48,000. And 48,000 here. And now I hit escape. So you see how it looks. So I now have a flat surface that's higher than the rest of the contours. That could serve a lot of different purposes, depending on, what you're trying to accomplish. But the thing you need to remember is that if you manipulate the elevation points for the split Toposolid, you're going to have to ramp up or modify the same basic points of the property that is around, or sorry, the Toposolid that's around. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a very odd sort of whatever it ends up being. Let me see what happens if I create over here a section. All right, so I'm going to go to the view command. I'm going to select section, and I'll just do a quick section through here. And I'm going to bring back the crop extension, whatever you want to call it. And let's take a look at this in 3D section. There we go. And I'm going to change the visual style to shaded. And so what we're looking at here is this. Right? So you can see it slopes up, stops here, continues on up here, but this is its own separate thing. One other purpose or potential use for this is cutting a hole in the Toposolid to allow for the building to sit or sit in. So if that's the case, you do that, then what you can do is you can unload the building. You're going to have a hole in the Toposolid for the outline of the building.